Today, we're going to learn the one technique you need to cook a perfect nonstick egg. And believe me, it works in just about any pan.
By the end of this, you'll be able to make an egg that slides right out of the skillet with a beautiful runny yolk, and you'll be able to do it every single time.
So what's the secret? Well, it's not about buying an expensive nonstick pan. Not at all. It all comes down to one simple thing: precise heat control. We're going to use a little bit of food science here, not some fancy coding. Okay, let's start with section 1, preparation and tools. First things first, let's get everything you'll need together. The setup is really simple. All you're going to need is 1 egg, about a tablespoon of fat, you can use oil or butter, your choice, a skillet, and a spatula. Yeah, that's really it. And now for section 2, mastering pan heat. I want you to pay close attention here because this is without a doubt the most important step. Getting the pan temperature just right is what makes this whole thing work.
You know, here's where most people go wrong. They drop an egg into a cold pan. What happens? The proteins in the egg immediately grab onto the metal and it sticks like glue. But when you use a hot pan, the egg hits that layer of hot fat and just glides. That's how you get that perfect, clean release.
So here's exactly what you're going to do. First, put your empty skillet on the stove. Turn the heat to medium. Let it sit there for a minute or 2. You add the oil or butter only after the pan itself is fully heated. This is key because we want the metal to be hot all the way through, not just the fat sitting on top. Now, you might be thinking, does that order really matter? It seems like such a tiny detail, right? Well, let me tell you, it is absolutely the foundation of this entire non-stick technique. We call this the hot pan advantage. See, by heating the metal first, you create this perfect surface. When the egg finally hits that hot fat, the proteins cook instantly. They sear. This creates a barrier, and it stops them from ever touching and bonding with the pan itself. The egg ends up floating on this tiny cushion of hot fat and steam. Okay, section 3, the cook and release. Your pan is hot, the fat is in, now for the fun part. Your move is to crack the egg right into the center of the pan. And how do you know the temperature is perfect? Look at the fat. The oil should have a little shimmer to it, like gentle ripples on water. If you're using butter, it should be foaming lightly, and you should hear a gentle sizzle, not a loud, angry crackle. Now for what might be the hardest part of this whole process. Do nothing. Seriously, don't touch it. Resist every urge to poke it or slide the spatula underneath it. You need to let it cook, undisturbed. This is when that nonstick layer is forming at the bottom, so just let it do its thing. So, how do you know when it's time? Your first checkpoint is to just watch the edges of the egg white. You'll see them go from clear and liquidy to a solid, opaque white. That's your first signal that the bottom is setting up perfectly. Once those edges are looking nice and firm, it's time for the test. Take your spatula and just give the egg a very gentle nudge on one side. We're not trying to flip it or scrape it here. It's just a light push to see if it moves. And there it is, the release. If the entire egg slides across the pan as one single piece, that's it. Success. That's the signal that it has fully released and is ready to come out. All right, we're in the home stretch. Section 4, the flawless finish. Let's talk about what that perfectly cooked egg should look like. So your final check is really simple. The white should be completely cooked, totally firm, with no slimy or transparent bits left. But that yolk? The yolk should be perfectly liquid and bright, just waiting to run the moment you cut into it. And there you have it. You see? Getting that perfect nonstick egg was never about the pan. It was just about 2 simple things: getting the heat right at the start and having a little patience at the end.